Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be baking a New York crumb cake. This is a very easy recipe and it's very moist and delicious and my husband's favorite. So right now I have preheated my oven to 350 degrees. I will go over the ingredients and step by step with you. I have 3 eggs that are sitting at room temperature. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to spray and grease our baking dish. And what I do is I do this little hack. I just use this little pastry brush because I don't like it all clumped in, so I just spray. Okay, now that I got a nice amount here, I hold the pan and I get it all around the corners here, as you see. Okay, this is a 9x13 pan, which you will need. And you need to grease and lightly flour it. And flouring it will be done next. So that is pretty straightforward and simple. So I'm still here, just putting things away as I go along. When I bake, I put things away as I go along. And then when I get done, when it's in the oven, I do my dishes right away because that's how I am. So right now I'm going to flour it and I'll show you what it looks like. We now have our 9x13 pan, lightly greased, lightly floured. So the next step we're going to do is we are going to work on the crumb topping. With this crumb topping, you're going to need 2½ cups of all-purpose flour, 1½ cups of light brown sugar packed, 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, 2½ teaspoons of ground cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1 cup of butter melted. So let's work on that. In our bowl, we have our dry ingredients, which consist of, this is for the crumb topping now, 2½ cups of all-purpose flour, 1½ cups of light brown sugar packed, 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, 2½ teaspoons of ground cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And we're going to whisk this together first, and then we're going to add the cup of melted butter. I'm just doing this just to get this a little bit incorporated. It already smells good, and I haven't even baked it yet. So now I'm going to add the butter. We now added our 1 cup of melted butter, and you're going to take a fork like so to make it like a crumble mixture. All around in here. You're going to use a fork for this. And we're going to set it aside. And we're going to start working on the cake batter itself. Now that we put our crumb topping to the side, we're going to get another bowl. And we're going to whisk together some dry ingredients that are going to make the cake, which is 2¼ cups of all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then we'll whisk it and set it aside. And then we're going to make the batter after that. We have our dry ingredients for the cake now in this bowl. We have 2¼ cups of all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of baking soda, and a teaspoon of baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now we're just going to whisk this all in to incorporate it. And now we have our stand-beside mixer. We're going to add the wet ingredients to make the batter. In our stand-beside mixer, we have 1/2 cup of butter, softened, which is 1 stick, and 1 cup of granulated sugar, and we're going to mix this until it is combined. Now the butter and sugar are creamy. We put the guard on. We're going to add our eggs one at a time. Okay, let me just throw this in the garbage. And get this shell up. We got the shell off. And we're going to do this 2 more times. While the eggs are mixing into the butter, we're going to add 1 cup of sour cream and 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract to the mixture. Now for the final part of this, I'm going to add the flour into this wet mixture, but I'm going to add it slowly to it. The batter is all made and done, and what we're going to do is we're going to put it into this greased floured baking pan. All right, and we are going to use an offset spatula to smooth it all out before we put any of the crumb topping on top. You got to scrape down the sides, making sure everything is out. Like so. Now I'm going to use my offset spatula to make sure it's spread out nice and even. All the corners. This is a thick batter, a very thick one. Do you guys like crumb cake? I think it's good. I think it's really delicious. Oops, we don't want that to happen. No. We just got to go as gently as we can because it sticks. So I'm trying to make this as even as possible. Crumb cake is delicious, especially New York crumb cake. Especially when it's a nice cold day and it bakes and you smell the cinnamon. It's so good. And then you have it with a cup of coffee or tea or whatever you choose. Now we just, whoops, got some on here. We don't want that. I'm a mess when I bake. Now I'm going to get the crumbs to put on top. All right, now the crumb mixture that I made in the beginning is nice and firm. So what I'm going to do is put it all over the top here and just gently press some into it. So bear with me. My hands are clean. Just going to sprinkle them down like so. As you see, I'm just going along here real quick. And I left some big chunks, as who loves chunks? I love chunks. It's a brown sugar goodness with cinnamon. It's so good. Get every inch. And then when it gets done, we're going to dust it with some powdered sugar. Yum. You guys like this stuff? Drop me a comment. Tell me what you like. What do you eat your crumb cake with, if you eat crumb cake? This is for hubby, but I'm going to have a little piece too. Just a little, because This is very sugary. A nice little piece with a cup of coffee for me, with my favorite sweetener. Well, coffee creamer, I meant to say. I like Coffee Mate sugar-free Italian cream. That's my favorite. I tried the coconut cream. I love coconut, but for some reason it just didn't taste good with a coffee creamer. You know, it just didn't taste. Okay, what I'm gonna do is just press down what we have here, lightly press. I still got a lot more, okay? This is going to be a crumb cake with crumbs, jumbo, tiny, and flavorful, you know? I want to make a gluten-free one for my son, but he's like, no, Mom, that'd be too much for me to eat. Maybe I can make, you ever see those recipes? They have one where it's, you can make it in a mug, a coffee mug. It's called Cake in a Mug. Just for like one person. I could do that, which would be good for him. This way he doesn't have to have a whole cake just for himself. I made his birthday cake this year. It was a homemade, from scratch, strawberry gluten-free cake. He absolutely loved it. Used fresh strawberries in it to make the flavoring and all, you know. And we pat again, and he absolutely loved it. Turned out really good. It was a lot of work, but it was worth it. This is going to be the crumb cake of crumb cakes, because this is filled with crumbs. Who doesn't like crumbs? I keep saying that because this smells heavenly, and we haven't even baked it yet. You know, we haven't even baked it yet. Is the weather getting warm where you are? Anybody out there? Weather getting warm by you? We had a little bit of freezing rain last night. We woke up to a sheet of ice on the driveway and on our cars. A surprise, you know? It's like a little skating rink out there. I spread some salt out. I'm waiting for spring. I want to see our spring birds and our groundhogs and the deer. I miss the deer. Oh my goodness. When I do videos, I show you our deer that come through. I miss them so much. I really do. And we have our wild turkeys. We have our bunnies. I adopted them. They just don't know that. Oh, I love my bunnies. They have a burrow over by our place somewhere, because when they when they're in danger and they feel that a predator's around, they go into that burrow, which is right over to the side of the house. I think that's it. And we are done. We're going to put, okay, next step is what we're going to do is we're going to put this in the oven, and it's going to bake for 40 to 45 minutes until the toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean. With just a few, you'll get a few little moist, you know, just pressing as much as we can without upsetting anything. See how this is? Looks so good. Just making sure every cake part is covered in crumb. Now I'm going to put it in the oven, and when it's done, I will show you what it looks like. Well, it's been about 45 minutes. I inserted the toothpick right in the center, and it came out clean. So the cake is done. It smells so good. But before we could even slice it, dust it with powdered sugar, it has to cool for another 45 minutes. Because if you put powdered sugar on here when it's hot, It's just going to liquefy. You want it to be completely cooled. So we're going to keep this on the baking sheet, okay, for about a half an hour. And then for about 15 more minutes, we're going to take it over to the cooling rack on my island. And once that's done, we will dust this with some powdered sugar. Okay, it's been cooled now, and we dusted it with some powdered sugar, and now we're going to take a very small piece. My husband likes a lot of powdered sugar, so that's why I put a lot. Me? No, not so much. Not too much. Let me get my plate so I don't, oops, I'm sorry. I'm taking you with me. The first piece is always the hardest to get out. Come on. Come on. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. It looks so good. You see the inside of it? It looks so good. Okay, we have the coffee and the coffee crumb cake. Just showing you exactly. That is so good. Oh my goodness. It's moist, cinnamony, nice and warm. It's got, you could taste the brown sugar and the cinnamon, and the sour cream that went into the cake batter made the cake so moist. Well, I'm going to close for now, but I want to thank you for joining me. And the recipe is very easy to follow. And I hope you all have a wonderful week. I hope to do a shopping haul, grocery haul this week, if I need to get anything from the super center. If not, then I won't post a video, but I want to thank you all for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe, comment as well. Have a blessed week. Take care, guys. Bye.